Hello story enjoyers, today we have a relationship story. Title: Am I the A for not accepting my wife's infidelity 14 years ago? I'm a 35-year-old man who's been married to my wife, who's 37, for 11 years, and we've been together for 14. We have a beautiful 7-year-old daughter, and up until last year, our marriage was great without any major issues. Last year, though, everything changed. I found out that my wife cheated on me before we got married. One of her friends, who recently became religious, confessed the truth to me. I confronted my wife, and she was shocked that I found out. She apologized profusely, saying it happened 14 years ago when she was a naive college graduate and that it shouldn't matter now because we've built a strong family together. She insisted I should come to terms with it. At first, I tried to do just that. I forgave her and attempted to move on. But the reality was much harder. Mentally, I took a big hit. For me, the betrayal wasn't something that happened 14 years ago, it felt like it happened the moment she confirmed it. I lost my confidence and couldn't be intimate with her anymore. I even secretly took a DNA and STD test to ease my mind. Thankfully, our daughter is mine, and I'm clear of any diseases. I started a year of intense individual therapy, realizing that I wasn't the same person anymore. I also communicated my feelings to my wife, and after some pushing, we began couples counseling. However, after all of this, I decided to proceed with a divorce. Here are my reasons. Betrayal and lies. She not only cheated but lied to me for 14 years. She didn't confess on her own and dismissed its importance by saying it was in the past. Robbed of choice, I was denied the choice to decide if I wanted to stay with someone who cheated. Cheating has always been a deal-breaker for me. If I had known back then, it would have ended things. Therapy didn't help. Despite intense individual and couples counseling, my feelings towards her didn't change. It started affecting our family life, which could impact our daughter. I believe it's better for her to have co-parents rather than live in a home filled with arguments. Dead intimacy. Our sex life is dead. I feel like I'm just going through the motions, and I don't even want non-intimate gestures anymore. Last week, I sat down with my wife and explained everything in detail, including my feelings and reasons for the divorce. I've been talking to a lawyer for the past month, and the papers are almost finalized. We agreed on a 50-50 custody and asset split, trying to keep things as amicable as possible. My wife had a panic attack when I told her and begged me to reconsider, but I believe staying together would only result in us being roommates and a broken home for our daughter. So, am I in the wrong here? Update. A lot of you asked if we've been to counseling together. Yes, we've been seeing a counselor for over a year now, on top of my individual therapy. I understand that ending a marriage over something that happened 14 years ago might not seem logical. However, my feelings towards my wife have only worsened after counseling and therapy. It started with not being able to trust her, then not wanting intimacy, followed by not wanting non-intimate gestures, and finally, not even feeling comfortable being in the same space as her. For the last couple of months, we've been less than roommates. I don't hate or resent her, but I can't shake off these feelings. I'd say I forgave her, but it's not about forgiveness anymore when there's no love or feelings left. I don't want my daughter to grow up in such an environment. I experienced a similar situation with my parents, and it was incredibly hurtful. I would have preferred if my mother had just divorced my dad instead of staying for my sake. This morning, I had a long talk with my wife. She hasn't been eating much since the ER visit, and I'm concerned for her well-being. Some Redditors suggested considering separation before proceeding with the divorce to see if my feelings might change. That's a very logical idea. I proposed this to my wife, and she was happy to hear it. I have an upcoming business trip to the Netherlands next week, and I'm planning to extend my stay with my sister once I return. Unexpectedly, my wife suggested a one-sided open marriage, where I could do what I want on the business trip if it would save our relationship and change my feelings. I rejected this idea because it has nothing to do with that. Even if it changed something for me, it would devastate her knowing I had been unfaithful in the future. It's not an easy decision to get over. That's all for the update. We'll try separation for a while, and depending on the results, I'll make my decision. Final update. After returning from my trip, I made the final decision to divorce my wife. The turning point for me was when my daughter told me I looked more lively and happier after I came back. That made me realize I'm better off without my wife, and that co-parenting our daughter would be the best solution for all of us. Despite trying to make things work, I still feel incredibly uncomfortable around my wife. When I broke the news to my wife, she didn't take it well and began spiraling. Concerned for her well-being, I called her parents to come and take care of her. Unfortunately, she caused some problems. She sent threatening messages to the friend who told me about her cheating, and I had to beg her friend not to sue my wife. My main concern is our daughter having her mother present in her life, even though my wife might need to be taken to a mental ward for her own safety. The last time I saw her, I felt scared just looking into her eyes. Our daughter is now staying with me, and we've started the divorce process. My lawyer mentioned that if my wife is taken to a mental ward, there's a good chance I could get more than 50-50 custody. While that should be good news, it devastates me to think about how this will affect our daughter. I want to make sure she has a stable and loving environment despite everything that's happening. Many Redditors have commented that dating life for a man in his 30s isn't promising, and that I'll likely be alone forever because no one will want me. First of all, I don't care about that right now. My daughter is my top priority, and dating is the last thing on my mind. Second, I'm confident in myself when it comes to finding friends and a partner if and when the time is right. To sum up my update, I've chosen to proceed with the divorce, focusing on what's best for my daughter and myself. This is going to be a long and challenging journey, especially considering the divorce process can be lengthy when it's not amicable. I'll probably be back with another update in about a year. Thank you all for your support and advice. It's been invaluable during this tough time.